I know it's cliche, but if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Hello, everyone. So I've decided that there is life stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, including these 2 books I'm holding, but I'm going to keep that to the end so that whoever clicked on this video for the title that I'm going to talk to you about will get right to it, and then we'll get to the more fun stuff later. So working from home, as one of the YouTubers I watch put it, when Pandora's box was open in the spring of 2020, I started working from home full time. But even before then, having a history with binge eating and trying to heal my relationship with food, I oftentimes struggled on the weekends and struggled in the evenings. And so when I started working from home full time, there came a struggle with just being home, and my workspace was right by the kitchen, and I didn't have the distraction of going for a walk down to the bathroom or walking over to my coworker to ask a question or just say, hi, how's your day going? And so the question became how to not binge eat when I'm at home all day, or how not to just graze throughout the day. Or it became a big push to heal my relationship with food because it was right there. If there's an essence of food addiction, it's not like you can quit cold turkey. You can't just abstain, take yourself away from it. And you can take yourself away from it for a short period of time, but you eventually have to go back to it because it does sustain us. It is good for us. It is energy. So today we're going to be talking about what helped me not binge eat, not overeat, not just graze throughout the day when I'm at home all day. So one big theme is intentionality. So even to this day, even if I'm not at home all day, if I don't have food prepared for me to make a meal, to make a substantial snack, I struggle. So plan, do some meal prep. If you don't make your own food, if you do a food service, or if you purchase freezer dinners or freezer meals, have those ready in your fridge, in your freezer. Make the HelloFresh or whatever you purchase, maybe make those meals ahead of time, because lunchtime is your meal when you're working from home. And if I get to lunchtime or I start getting hungry and I don't have something that I can just put together and warm up or make a sandwich or something, I start to snack, and then I'm not fulfilled because I didn't have a full meal and I'm not getting all the protein and the nutrients I need. And so I end up just grazing, or I snack until I finally make something, and by the time I've made something and that's ready to eat, I'm already full, but I end up just eating what I made because I made it so that I could eat it and I didn't want that work to go in vain. So if you do work from home, take some time maybe on the weekend and prep ingredients, prep food, maybe 1 or 2 full batch meals that will take you throughout the week. And I say 2 because some people can eat the same meal every day. I can eat the same meal for several days, but I like to have some variety. So having a couple options can also benefit you, because sometimes you get to lunch and what you had planned for lunch isn't what you want for lunch. So having 2 options can just help you enjoy your meal. So what comes with that is you are going to have to make your grocery lists. You are going to have to plan your HelloFresh orders. You are going to have to ensure that you have the food you need in your house. And this goes along with snacks as well. I am intentional. I'm not the best. I do well when I intentionally have snacks that I know I can go to when I'm hungry. So instead of just working, and then letting that hunger build and build and build, and then when you finally let yourself eat, you go overboard, you are able to just get up from your workspace, go to the kitchen, assemble 1, 2, 3 items into a snack, and then eat that. Especially if you have a history with binge eating. For me, it's really important to honor my hunger. I try not to put it off too long. If I'm in the middle of a task and I don't want to get out of my groove, I will allow myself to finish that task, or I will allow myself to get to a milestone point in that task, and then I step away, grab my snack, and have it. So when I do have a snack, I'm not just eating plain crackers. I'm not having just a plain apple. I'm not having an unsubstantial snack. I'm having something that has a fat with the carb usually. If I have just veggies, I have it veggies with hummus, or I have veggies with a cheese stick. If I have an apple, I have an apple and cheese stick, or an apple and peanut butter, or maybe I have a tortilla with hummus, or I have 1 or 2 banana peanut butter muffins that I'll make. Something that has, for me, either a fat or a carb and something else. Maybe I'll just have a cheese stick because I get fat and protein from that. But I have something that is satisfying. And to me, fats and proteins are very satisfying. If you have just an apple when you're hungry, that may satiate you for a little bit, but for me, it's usually not long enough. And then a half hour later, I need another snack. And with binge eating or like food addiction, I think there's value that comes from, one, honoring your hunger, like I mentioned before, but also there's value in eating something substantial that gives you time to break from food. It allows your mind to go back to work, especially if you're working from home. Your mind can go back to work. Your body is satisfied. Your taste buds are satisfied. And then you have an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how long your snack keeps you full. And then once your body starts feeling hungry again, you can go get more food. So the big thing is having food in your house. You may not have the energy to go to the grocery store on the weekends, but if you know you're going to be working from home and you know you're not going to be going to the store during the week, I don't know how long it takes you to get to your grocery store, or have Instacart. Make the time to restock your house with nutrient-dense, satisfying for you snacks, and the ingredients, or make the orders you need to make to have a meal or 2 prepped or ready for you to just warm up when lunchtime comes. Second thing is how you eat your meal, how you eat your snack. Now, I know we all have busy days. You may just have a busy day every day, but I don't think you are always too busy to close your laptop, step away from your monitors, step away from your desk, and just put your focus on your food, your snack, or your lunch. I am not the best at this. I will usually eat my snack, eat my lunch at my computer, whether I'm working on something, whether I'm reading something, and I would like to be better at this, but it makes a difference when you take your focus off of work, or you, instead of having your focus divided between work and eating, you allow yourself to step away and just focus on your snack, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your lunch. Maybe you eat your lunch fast, but 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you have even a small amount of time to take a break and eat your food, take that break and enjoy the food. Not only is it beneficial if you are someone who's struggling with overeating, binge eating that's been exacerbated, made worse by working from home, being intentional about just sitting down and focusing on your food. But additionally, it's another break for your mind. So even if you don't have struggles with your relationship with food, stepping away from your work is beneficial. It gives your mind, your eyes, a little bit of a reprieve from that focus, from that strain. It gives it a moment to rest, take a breath, kind of level out. And then when you go back to work, you're slightly rejuvenated. So there are more benefits than just if you're trying to heal your relationship with food when it comes to working at home. So plan to have food, stock up, be intentional when you eat, and just focus on your food. Lastly, take breaks throughout your day. When you're working from home versus when you're working in an office. In an office, you probably have to get up, walk down the hall to go to the bathroom, to get a drink, to fill up your water bottle. Maybe you have to go upstairs to talk with someone in a different department. Maybe you have a routine of every morning you walk over to your coworker's desk to just say hi. Maybe you get up from your desk and you leave and go to lunch. Those breaks aren't there when you're working from home. Now, yes, for sure, you may have a family at home with you, maybe you have roommates home with you, and you have that distraction. And maybe you are intentional about taking breaks from your work, but maybe you have distractions that aren't intentional. Maybe your child walks in and into your office space and wants to have a little conversation with you, or you have to take care of something in the house and it doesn't feel like a break from work. I can get really antsy when I'm working from home, just being seated in the same place. It's not the most comfortable chair that I'm in, but there's perks to that where I don't get sleepy. And it's like my mind needs a break. So it's like when you take a break to step away and eat a snack, you take a break and step away and eat your lunch. Build in 5, even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, once an hour, once every 2 hours, once every 3 hours, when you start to maybe get antsy or you're starting to crave food but you're not hungry. See, that's the thing. If you are feeling hungry and you are hungry, go get a snack, go take your lunch break. But if you know you can feel you're not hungry, but you're starting to crave food, like you want to eat something, get up from your desk, go walk around the yard, take a lap around the yard, walk around the block, get up and put a load of laundry in the washer, take 5 minutes and wash up your morning dishes, take 5-10 minutes, find a YouTube video, 5-10 minutes of stretching and stretch. That reprieve, like I said, when you take a break to eat your snack or eat your lunch, that reprieve gets your mind off of work. It can fulfill that need to do something when you feel antsy, do something other than your work for a few minutes. It gives your mind and your eyes that break from probably your screen and focusing on the task at hand. Take 5 minutes and read a chapter in your Bible, read a chapter in the book that you're reading right now. Now, I'm not going to say take 5 minutes and scroll through your phone because personally that doesn't work for me. Like if I'm just scrolling through like Instagram reels, that almost it keeps me just as antsy or makes me antsier. And you're not giving your eyes that relief from looking at a screen. So I would definitely recommend don't go to your phone necessarily, but go to a book, go for a walk, have a little bit of a stretch, do a small chore around the house. It is a distraction, yes, but it may be a good break for your mind, and it gets your focus again off of food if you're not hungry but you want to eat something. And maybe you are stressed about a task at work or something that's going on at work, and just taking 5-10 minutes away from that just to give your mind a rest. It may seem like the smallest thing, but that smallest thing can make a big difference. Especially if your alternative is, I'm just going to numb this stress with food, or I'm just going to distract myself with food, or I'm going to distract myself with scrolling. So stepping away from work for a few minutes, and in that situation, it may spark an idea. It may spark a resolution. I'm not saying it's going to, but sometimes when you step back from work or you step away from your desk, you're antsy, whether it's related to work or not, and you change your mind's focus onto just some basic stretching or folding a load of laundry. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a professional, but I know when I do something that is away from a screen that is gently productive, I'm not going to scrub the floor, but gently productive or gently relaxing, moving my body, that short rest really makes a difference on my mindset and maybe my stress level. And the benefit of that too is that it gets you up and away from your desk. If you are working from home, you are probably sitting still a lot of the day. Maybe you are standing. Maybe you have someone who has a walking pad under their desk. I hope you use it. That would be great. If you have a walking pad, that's like a goal of mine to get one of those eventually. But even then, I think it would be important to step away from your screen, step away from that work for a few minutes, and move your body. If you are sitting all day, that is not good for our body. And so just getting up, just standing up for a few minutes, even if you just walk around your living room, you walk down to your kitchen, you go to the bathroom, you get a drink of water, you come back, getting up out of that sedentary position. Sometimes we can get anxious just from sitting still. And then we don't even realize that it's impacting our mind, like how we're working, how agitated we are. So wrapping that all up, eating well, working from home, even if you aren't struggling with binge eating, but it is, for me, it was harder learning to be at home around food all the time. If you do struggle with overeating, but I know when people started working from home that they weren't used to it, people did put on weight because they were at home around their kitchen all day. And sometimes you get bored and you're supposed to be working. So it's not like I can go spend an hour, 2 hours doing stuff that I normally do on the weekends. I can't do my yard work. I'm supposed to be working. So I'll just walk down to the kitchen, have a snack. Not a healthy solution for anyone. Just to eat when you're bored. So prep your pantry. Go to the grocery store every week, every other week, whatever you need to do to make sure you have sufficient ingredients to make your meals ahead of time so that you have food ready for your lunches, making sure you have snack options that are nutrient dense and filling, but also taste good to you. Being intentional about the time you take to eat your snack, to eat your lunch. Don't just step away from your computer for just lunch. Take those 5 minutes and eat your snack away from your screen. Turn your screen off, leave your office. Separate those two tasks, eating, working. Separate them as best you can. It may not be possible every single day, but make that your intention. And then lastly, take breaks. Take frequent breaks. 2-minute break, 5-minute break, 10-minute break. Simple thing as standing up, leaving your office, leaving your workspace, going to a different room in the house if you can. Maybe you stay in your office space, your workspace, and you just stand up, or you get down on the floor and you do some stretching, walk around your house, walk around the block, do a load of laundry like I mentioned earlier, wash the few dishes that are in your sink. Something to ease your mind, get your mind off of work for a second and a trade-off for going to eat food. Yes, honor your body when you are hungry. But when you're not hungry and you want to eat food, is it because you're bored? Is it because you're agitated, you're anxious? That may help you to understand and find an alternative to eating. So that's why I suggest frequent breaks, 2 minutes to 10 minutes, get away from your computer, get away from your work, and do something not food related. If you are interested in reasons why you may binge eat, why you may eat when you're not hungry, why you may overeat, I will leave my episode for why I binge ate down below in the show notes for you guys, or the description if you are watching on YouTube. I'm going to talk about my fun stuff now, but if you guys are going to click off for now, thank you for listening. And if you are listening on podcast, I would love it if you would rate and review. I'm bringing healthy back, whether you like it, you dislike it. What would you like me to talk about? What you don't like me talking about? The good, the bad, I will take it. If you want to hear more from me, follow and subscribe. But if you are sticking around, let's get to this stuff. So first of all, in one of my first episodes, I showed you guys if you are listening on and watching on YouTube, I showed you guys my Never Too Navy nails, and I found some more, and then I bought some more. So right now I have, it's like before sunset. Let's see if you guys can see them. They're like an olive green, and then they have accent nails on them. So these have been on for 7 days today, and my one pointer finger it was nearly coming off, so I just slowly peeled it off. The rest of them are pretty solidly on, and I have a wedding to go to in a few days, so I'm either going to have to take them off or peel them off because I have a different color that I want to put on for the wedding. And so these are the Impress brand by Kiss. So I first bought the Never Too Navy ones, and then I was at Target with a friend and I wanted to look at what colors they had because I saw that they sold a few boxes at my grocery store. So I ended up buying 3 boxes at Target, and then I went on to the Impress website and they had so many. So I took back 2 of the boxes that I had purchased at Target because they had the matte version of those colors on their website. So I ended up buying 7 boxes off of their website, and then they arrived, and I know I bought 7 boxes, but seeing the 7 boxes, I was like, that's a lot of nails. And for me, they fit my nails in a way where I can get 2 to 3 sets out of 1 box. So got a lot going on right now. But yes, very, very fun. And then if you guys are serial listeners, if not, what was my last episode? I don't remember. On my last episode, I was talking about the books that I was reading or was going to start reading. And these were the 2. So the one is Inkheart by, and this is translated from German, so I may pronounce her name wrong. It's Cornelia Funke. So it's Funke. And in German, if there's an E on the end, it's like Danke. So Funke. And it's 530 pages, but it's published by like Scholastic Children's branch of the publishing house. And it was a pretty detailed story. The writing was pretty detailed. And then you get to the climax of the book And it's a very satisfying concept, the climax of the book. But then it's like, this is what happened. And then, okay, it's over. So there was like no detail. Like I wanted detail so you could like visualize exactly how it happened. And then you can just kind of like bathe in the satisfaction. And you didn't get a chance. And I don't know, that quick like climax and then it's over makes me think of like a true children's book that you would like read to a child before bedtime that you can read in one sitting. And I was like, for how much of a book there is here and how much detail there was leading up to that, I expected more. And then at the end, there were at least two things that I wanted more explanation on, but the author didn't expand on. So I don't know if there was a deadline and they didn't have a chance to go into detail on it. But this is part of a trilogy. This was published in 2003, and I'm just reading it. I got it. I got this book a long time ago, but never read it. It is part of a trilogy, and so I knew that. After I started reading that, I learned that this was part of a trilogy. And so when I got to the end, I was almost hoping for some sort of cliffhanger to like invite you to read the next book, but I didn't get that either. So I may read like the inside cover, like the summary of the books, the other two books in the series, and see if I'll get closure on some things, if they'd be worth picking up. But it was fun. Would I suggest it? Maybe. If you're just getting into, I don't know. I don't know. You're just going to have to look up. You're just going to have to read what it's about and see that for yourself. Maybe like a middle schooler who likes to read, this would be great for. Or if you're like just getting back into reading, or if you're a real casual, not too critical of a reader, this might be good. I'm not a super, super critical reader, like of the ins and outs of how the author wrote the book. I don't mind as much as long as I enjoy it. So, in cart. And then Death and Croissants. So this is like a mystery drama novel. And how far am I in? I'm over 2/3 of the way through it. And I've really enjoyed how the author brings comedy into it, in how he writes not even just the conversations that happen, but how he describes how people say things or how people act or how people look. And it's just that element of comedy that I really enjoy. It's not in like what people are saying, but it's like how they say it. And so I was picking up on that. And then the other day I had seen like the end pages, and I guess Ian Moore is a stand-up comedian. So I saw that and I was like, that makes sense. I'm not too surprised. And so these are the two nonfiction books I'm reading. Some of you may disagree with me, but I'm also reading the Bible. That's my nonfiction book. Did I say these are fiction? I always say that wrong. Fake fiction. I'm reading I had read through the New Testament this spring, the first several months, 3-4 months of the year. And so I started back into Genesis. And I love, if you're Christian or if you're not Christian, I would start in the Gospels. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. If you've never read the Bible before and you want to start somewhere, or if you're looking for like what Christianity is about, I would start in reading the book of John. Not 1st and 2nd John, but just John. And if you are someone who's read the Bible and you've reread it or you've read it multiple times, I like, as I grow in my faith and God allows me to grow in my wisdom of his word, how rereading it, you pick up on new things that maybe you missed or you didn't understand before. And it's great. It's amazing. What else? I have another nonfiction book that I'm going to start reading while I am finishing up Death and Croissants. And I will mention that in my next podcast. So if you want to know about that next book, you're just going to have to follow, subscribe, hit that bell so that you know when I drop the next episode. And then I will tell you all about it then. But if you're still here, thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment and leave the little house, because today we were talking about how to eat well, not overeat, not binge eat while you are working from home. So if you listened till now, thanks again so much, and I will see you guys in the next episode.